Bulls get a much needed win after a period of several losses in a row. The Chicago Bulls beat the Miami Heat 102-97, led by DeMar DeRozan. We're going to talk about it, break it all down, have some fun for once, get to talk about a dub right after this.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bulls Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bulls news and content.
I see red, I see red, I see red, I see red, yeah, I see red, I see red, I see red, I see.
What's going on, Bulls fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bulls Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related. And the Chicago Bulls get a much needed dub today over the Miami Heat. This is a game, again, a tale of two halves for the Chicago Bulls. They only scored 14 points in the first quarter, 26 in the second, but didn't come out at halftime, scoring 28 points in the third and 34 points in the fourth quarter, both over the Miami Heat, winning both those quarters over the Miami Heat. The Chicago Bulls are just a team that apparently only knows how to play with some heart and determination when they're playing from a 20-point deficit or more. But in the second half of this game, both Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan really turn it on. DeMar DeRozan goes 4-7 in the second half, 1 of 2 from three-point range for 14 points. Zach LaVine also goes 4 of 7, but also 3 of 5 from three-point range. He scores 11 points in this game just in the second half overall. Vooch with 9 points in the second half. Caruso with 9 points in the second half. Torrey Craig with 8 points in the second half as well. Just a much better effort in the second half of this game for the Chicago Bulls. They end up finishing this game, getting 17 points off turnover, leading that battle. They also come into this game winning the rebounding battle by 10, which is always big for the Chicago Bulls. They won on the second chance points, 16 second chance points to Miami Heat's 11 second chance points, and then points in the paint. The Bulls scored 32 points in the paint in this game. 32. Keep in mind, we didn't score that in the last game in total. 32, 18 of that coming in the second half of the game, while we only allowed 8 points in the paint from the Miami Heat in the second half of the game. This was a second half effort that we've just not seen from this team in the last couple of games. So the Bulls do get a victory. They moved to 5-9 on the season, still well below 500. They got some work to do. They're going to face the Miami Heat again on Monday in Chicago again. So the Miami Heat are going to be looking for their revenge there. But at least for right now, the Chicago Bulls have gotten a dub. We're able to say the Bulls got to win. We've been in some of the darkest time. The Bulls were on a 3-game losing streak. They get a win to break that 3-game losing streak. Is this going to be something that the Bulls build off on? We'll end up seeing. I don't feel like I've seen enough from the team to say that it's going to be something they'll build off on, but we'll end up seeing. Hey, as of right now, they got the dub. That's all that matters, and we'll see how that moves going forward. Let's get into the comment section. We got Terry in the building. He says we were down about 10 or 12, and I went to do a rosary for the day. I come back and we win. That's crazy. Listen, Bulls pulled it in. Tay Holland's in the building, says, I was glad to see them stick together. Yeah, listen, this team showed everything that we've been questioning with this team. They really showed it in the second half of this game, playing as a team, things like that. So, I mean, I don't know what that means for, like I said, the future of the Bulls, if this is going to be something that they build off on, that we see a little bit more regularly. Not going to say that because of how bad this has looked, but keep in mind, we shot the ball a little bit above 30% from the field in that first half. We finished the game shooting 44% overall. Again, just how much different the Bulls offense and as a team they shot 54% from the field overall in the second half of this game, 47% from three-point range. Again, tale of two halves for the Chicago Bulls. If we can just take and bottle up how the Chicago Bulls play in the second half of some of these games, we'd probably be like 3 games above 500 right now. Quentin from Let's Talk Bulls says, why did Zach walk off like he was mad they won? Hey, listen, I listen, it is what it is there. It is what it is there. Let's see what else we got here. Ellen says, this team's going to put me in an early grave. I think we've all already been there, brother. I think we've all already been there. We're in the end game now. Chips in. They actually showed some heart in that game. Let's go. Yeah, definitely heart shown in this game for the Chicago Bulls. And, this is how you want to see this team perform, right? We want to see this team be able to step up and perform in this manner. This is what you should be expecting from a professional basketball team. Unfortunately, we can't. And we have to celebrate it as if it's something abnormal because we just don't usually get that from this basketball team, especially not this season. Is that going to change now? Let's see. Hopefully so, right? Hopefully so. But at the end of the day, we still know what's coming with this team, and there are major changes coming with this team. How they end up changing the makeup and the identity and those type of things with the team, that's going to be things that we're looking out for. Abdallah says, I'm telling you, if we build momentum from now on, we ain't going to trade anyone. Let's have faith. No, that's not. Zach LaVine requested a trade. He's going to get traded. They're not going to hold on to him. He's getting traded. We're trading Zach LaVine at the bare minimum. That trade is coming. Just deal with that realization. It's not just because of the Bulls' struggles. It's done. That relationship is over with. So come to terms with that and prepare. That trade is coming regardless. We actually won a game. Pop the champagne. We're going undefeated from here out. That is hilarious. That's crazy. That's crazy. Benji in the building says, front office thinking, hold up, we just beat the NBA Finals Heat. Let's wait till Lonzo's back. That's had the trade request not came. I feel you. I was talking about not hearing the C-Red intro in a while, and we went, hey, listen, I'm glad that I was able to play the C-Red intro. We suck, but we still always find a way to beat the bum-ass Miami Heat. Listen, where's Ringo at now? Where's Ringo at? Tell Ringo to go ahead and come through, man. Happy we won. As much as my inner fan wants to take over, I have control it because I know the next game they're just going to go back to their old ways. You screw it, Bulls win, let's go. Exactly, like celebrate the wins. The Bull got a dub, right? Let's celebrate the win. 5-9 now on the season. Still a long season ahead with changes coming, and we'll see what it's going to mean with this one. My dad in the building says, nice win, absolutely. Always good to see a Bulls win, man. Haize has a slight smile, smirk on his face. Listen, and that's the thing. I'm always going to, I'm so emotionally, I hate it. So emotionally invested in this team that I'm always going to be there. And it's always going to affect my mood positively when this team wins games. But listen, it still doesn't change reality for me. I've still seen how this team played. Hell, even in just the first half of this game, this team would literally have to play with this level of effort for at least 5 to 6 games in a row. That doesn't mean wins. I'm not talking about wins, but play with this type of heart and effort for me to feel different about this team. And so let's hope that it happens. But as of right now, I'm definitely going to celebrate the win. But it's tough because you just know the other shoe's going to drop with this team at some point in time. I need Vooch to hit that corner three. Otherwise, we good. I mean, listen, Vooch is gonna be Vooch. We've seen what he's been this time, his whole time. With the Chicago Bulls, 3-point shooting isn't Vooch's strong suit, but he still can be a damn good offensive player even without it. Leave it to the Bulls to win. The one time I bet they will lose. Hey, that's what I always say. The Bulls always will get a win at a time where we least expect it. Dennis must have came in the locker room and cussed them out. No, listen. Dennis ain't coming in the locker room and cussing nobody out. And this team, I don't think that would even work for anything. Bro, I don't know why I still feel numb. Unhappy, defeated still after this win. I didn't even celebrate. Maybe they took my spirit away, but good Bulls win. If they don't play like that, like they care until the fourth, that's funny. But yeah, you just never know. This is why I trust DeMar with the last shot. I know he's going to make them every time, but still, whether it's a 3 or 2, I want DeRozan taking the last shot. Now, listen, and he's earned, right? He's earned to be respected in that manner because DeMar DeRozan is clutch. He is typically. It's been a struggle this season. Everybody's been shooting bad on the Bulls so far this season, though. But typically, you can bet on DeMar DeRozan to be a clutch player as long as he's not in the playoffs, right? So, Samir says, please say someone else saw Zach leaving at the end. Yeah, I don't think you were the only one to see that, brother. They always find a way to reel us back in. Don't be fooled. They finna piss us off very soon. In all reality, though, this seems like an up-down season all year. Hopefully more ups than downs, though. I mean, listen, I always compare it to that Chicago Bulls team the year before they drafted Derrick Rose, right? That was a team that had, at that point in time, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, I think they're off 3 or 4 straight playoff appearances in a row. Yeah, this team didn't have that, but that's what that team had. And it was a team that was scrappy, that fought hard. And then that season, they just didn't have it that season. You saw it early on. They were losing close games that they used to win. They seemed defeated. Scott Skiles got fired. And then we ended up getting Derrick Rose. Now that light isn't coming at the end of this tunnel more than likely, but it just feels like that team that's just over it, right? That just has run their course. But the difference between that team and this team is that that team had been together. The core parts of that team have been together for about 4 or 5 years at this point. We're talking about this team just going into their third season feeling like that. Much different proposition there. Josiah in the building says every game comes down to the wire, whether it's against the Celtics or the Pistons. They play up or play down to competition every night. Listen, I can't even say they play up or down to competition every night. They're just an inconsistent team. I wish I could say that they look at the competition and say they can play up or down to it, but I can't say that. This is a team that gets by the skin of their teeth every single time. That's it. That's it. Chris Covinio says, don't bet on your own team to lose, brother, but I don't blame you for how they've been playing. Listen, every time they would disappoint you every time. Every time. Notice how quickly Zach left the floor with an attitude like a little mama. Wow, not like a little mama. He just reminded me of, wow, y'all going in on it. That's crazy. Brandon L. Jet, thank you so much for supporting the channel, my brother, with the super chat. He says this is why you keep DeMar as a facilitator until crunch time. He let Zach Vooch and others cook until crunch time. Then he took over from there. Completely agree with you. DeMar DeRozan was excellent today, and that is DeMar DeRozan's strength. When you let him get in his rhythm, DeMar in the fourth quarter scored 12 points in the fourth quarter. He went 4 of 6, 1 for 1 for 3-point range. He scored 12 points in just the fourth quarter of this game, sealing it, right? That is DeMar DeRozan's strength. That is the magic of DeMar DeRozan that he has. But we all know this team got some talent. We also know it doesn't click too often after Lonzo went down, which is sad. All facts. All facts. I'm glad we got the win, but we still got to do better. For me, they need to win more games. Immortal Beast, that's 100%. I don't think any Bulls fan is going to say that they don't want, that the Bulls don't need to win more basketball games. We absolutely need to win more basketball. We need to compete better than what we have throughout large parts of the season. All those things are true. This team has things that they absolutely need to tighten up on and make more consistent. And until they do that, it's going to be an inconsistent team all season. It's going to be a disappointing team. They're going to have their flashes. They're going to show their little bit, but it's going to be what it's going to be. And, until this team really wants to change that, we're kind of stuck with it, unfortunately. Trey Riley says, damn good pass from Zach for the W. About time, but damn, Billy was pissing me off with the small ball. I can't keep playing Caruso at the 4, getting hurt, but good shit, Bulls. Listen, the Caruso at the 4 experiment, like I said, I know that he made it to bring a different energy to the starting lineup that just has not had a lot, but we do need more than that. And I don't think anybody's going to say that we don't. The Bulls need to find a way to get it, whether it's from Torrey Craig, whether it's from Patrick Williams, whether they do something crazy, right? They need to find something. BDB says, privately, I think why they always spoil winning streaks. Vegas house wins big on nights like tonight. Big money against the Bulls. Smells bad even if it feels good. Listen, I don't bet, so I don't care about that world. Like, literally, I don't bet. I don't give a shit about the betting part of it. But hey, it is what it is. Zach showed why they traded Butler for him tonight. They didn't. Keep in mind, people say this now, and I hate that this is really revisionist history. And this isn't to come at you, but the Bulls didn't trade Jimmy Butler for Zach LaVine. Keep in mind, the Bulls almost traded Jimmy Butler for Chris Dunn straight up the year before. Zach LaVine was the throw-in to make the money work. The Bulls really wanted Chris Dunn in that pick. That's what makes it all crazy, right? Like, people now, we look at it and say, well, we traded for Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine was almost an afterthought in that trade. They wanted Chris Dunn. Chris Dunn was a player that they had coveted for over a year at that point. And imagine had the Bulls did that. Imagine the different places this franchise would have been in had we made that trade for Chris Dunn Butler the draft prior to when we traded Jimmy, and we would have walked away from Jimmy Butler for just Chris Dunn. Just Chris Dunn. Imagine how different this franchise would look if that was the case. Right? That's crazy. That's crazy. Complete ineptitude, man. Prove me wrong in the building. Says I was in the building. Bulls never lose, and I'm there. I'm 3-0 this year. Kobe Ball win the GOAT. Here we go. See, like every time that he says something halfway competent, every time Prove Me Wrong says something halfway competent or sensible, he follows it up with something fucking stupid. Every time. I don't know what it is. It's like he can't get right. He literally can't get right. Like, for real. Like, come on, man. You really think this is what's getting the Bulls win? You think that they are coming in here talking about, oh, prove me wrong's in the building. Let's get this dub. No, they're not. That's not what they're doing, man. Calm down on that, bro. People actually did play some good defense, got some deflections, and played steady guarding Jimmy Butler. Well, Patrick Williams is honestly, as much as people talk about his scoring, and I get that, he's been playing solid defense for at least 4 or 5 games in a row. He fell off a little bit defensively there for a while, but Pete Will's been playing some really good defense. He's been playing some really good defense. Melvin says, into my comments earlier, yes, Billy ain't good, but this lack of heart from the players that pass games to why they lose, except Caruso. They have heart talent to come back, just needed to start. Listen, if the Bulls could find a way to start off with the heart, we'd be talking about a completely different season. Completely different season. We'll see, man. We'll see. We won every quarter but the first. How do we change that? It's been the narrative forever. We have so much talent, but we get punched in the face and just stand there for a while until we respond. Well, it hasn't always been that. The problem with the Bulls is that the first season this team came together, it was third quarters. We had terrible third quarters every single time. Then last year, I think it was switched to like second quarters with some in the third, and then now we just get off to these slow starts. Like the Bulls have these terrible quarters that end up being what bites them in their ass. I wasn't happy until the game, until the buzzer went. I kept messaging my mate. I refused to get excited until the siren goes with this team. Listen, and you're not wrong for feeling that way. The way that this team is played is that you have to secure the win first before you truly believe that the win is there, right? You have to. Proven Wrong says Bulls fans went from trading DeMar to he the GOAT in one game. Well, listen, that's the fickle nature of Chicago Bulls fans, bro. It's literally the fickle nature of Chicago Bulls fans. It's always going to be what it's going to be. Apparently, it was the Bulls PR trying to stop Zach from leaving the court and moved her aside. Ah, okay, well, there you go. Mike Jones in the building. He says, happy to see the bench show up tonight. We needed to see it all come together tonight. I'm still hopeful, even though it's bad. I mean, listen, I get having hope, and I don't want to crap on anybody's hope. The point that I am right now is that this team just needs to show it consistently, right? Until this team shows it, and there's so many different aspects of it as well. Until P. Will is consistent and shows some things for games in a row. Until this team plays well together. Until Billy Donovan strings 10 games together of coaching well, right? Until those things happen, it's always going to be some pessimism around this team, and they've earned that pessimism with the way that they perform on the basketball court. So, hopefully this, I'm not going to get to the point where every win we're talking about, is this a turning point for the Chicago Bulls? But listen, this team needs to figure out a way to bottle up how they play the last part of the game and just make that a consistent effort. Until they do that, it's always going to be a struggle. It's always going to be a struggle. Nighthawk says, I will apologize for the Zach hate, but he still isn't a complete player. Every player has flaws, right? So, yes, Zach LaVine has some huge flaws to his game. Absolutely. Quentin from Let's Talk Bulls says, I'm so excited for a win, but this team is an embarrassment going down by 15 every first quarter. Listen, if the Bulls just don't get themselves out to these huge deficits, man, it's a big change in this team. Now, that's easier said than done, right? But we really got some things that we need to change. So King V says, why do you think the Bulls' relationship with LaVine is tarnished? I mean, look at the result. Look at the results. It just is what it is. You'll see it in the record that the Chicago and the team that's been put around him, and the way that the different front offices, the different coaches that he's had here, right? Some of the problem absolutely has been Zach itself, but it just listen. We have not created or cultivated a culture or a situation to where I would expect anybody to look at the Bulls situation and just say, "Yeah, this is the best place for me to win at a high level." Right? You may have loyalty. They may be able to pay you the most money, but you got to prove it, right? And I think, especially as we're in this player empowerment movement, you have to prove and show to the players that are on your team that you are committed to winning. And this Bulls team right now hasn't shown that. Hasn't shown that. It's Seaway's World is in the building. Says just leaving Haize. It was quite an experience in there. Hey, I've heard that my Uncle Mingo was in there. So yeah, but Seaway. So let me ask you this: how bad were the Bulls for Zach early in this game? Let me know that. Dan Miles says, bright side, we 73-9 and 16-0 bound. That's funny. That's hilarious, actually. Facts, Haize be speaking the truth. Listen, I try. I try sometimes. Just leaving the game, Haize, it was quite an experience in there. They were beating Kobe up, especially Caleb Martin. I was so annoyed. Kobe was fighting. He's fighting for his life out there. Yeah, I mean, listen, Kobe White's got some things that he needs to definitely work on. Donovan could put 20 wins in a row together, and we would still be known as Billy Bubblegum, bobblehead bitch, Doe Fanny. God damn, man, just killed him. If Bulls trade number 8 for pieces to surround a DeMar Vucevic duo, the team may not be as bad as some think. DeMar is the guy who led the Raptors to the East Finals. I know that was a while ago, but DeMar is a beast. It's completely different DeMar DeRozan, completely different makeup of the team, too. Keep in mind, he had a running mate and a point guard in Kyle Lowry that was also a pretty damn good player himself. And that team also had young players coming up on those teams as well. So it wasn't like DeMar was just putting the team on his back and leading to the Eastern Conference Finals by himself. But I will say this is that it's gonna take more than that in this modern NBA. A tourist lost to say, Haize, that's because them bozos aren't real fans. Most of us see DeMar for the talent he has, but not a perfect player by a long shot. And yeah, and I mean that's reasonable to say, right? We live in this place where everybody wants to make like these hard line takes of these black and white things. Is that DeMar is a flawed player, but DeMar also, especially in the right situation, can be damn good for you. Damn good. Ricky has gone rogue. Hey, Ricky be irritated too, man. The crazy thing with LaVine's situation is that you can understand both sides. I understand why LaVine wants nothing to do with the franchise, but I can also get why the organization's fed up. Oh, for sure, right? There's been disappointment to be shared in both sides of the situation from the Bulls organization and definitely from Zach LaVine, the player, right? And so at the end of the day, wherever this ends up going, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Haize, you skipped my first super chat. Did I? Hold on, let me go back and see. Dan. Oh, I absolutely did. My bad, bro. Hell yeah, Haize. Hell yeah, Bulls Nation. I think they heard you going the hell off yesterday. Keep moving that ball around and lock down D. Keep moving the ball around and lock down D. C Red. Shout out. Shout out to Lockdown D. That's my new nickname. Haize Lockdown D Johnson. Actually, don't have a bad ring to it. But shout out to you for Tailspin. My bad for missing your super chat. Thank you for supporting the channel, my brother. Let's see. We have failed to use Zach for almost a decade now, right? He has the right to one out based solely on that. Failed to use him. No, Zach was used. That's just see. And this is where people start spreading, changing the narrative. The Bulls absolutely use Zach and they prioritize Zach. So it's not that. It's just that the team hasn't been winning. But you can't say that the Bulls haven't used Zach. That's ridiculous. That's crazy to say that. Christopher in the building. Christopher says Zach got talent, but he's just not a true leader. That title goes to Caruso. Yeah, I don't think anybody would argue that Zach's not the type of rah-rah vocal leader. He just isn't. He's isn't. That's not in his. That's not in his personality. That's not what his skill set is. So it is what it is. Zach is a forward. Zach is a guard. He's not a forward. What are you talking about? What? Yeah, yeah. That don't make any sense. That comment literally doesn't make any sense. No, my D locks him down. Come on now. I understand that you can't read too well. I understand you got a Chicago education. I need you to read a little bit better on that, Steve-O. Well, I mean, we haven't utilized him to make a utilize. Do you know what you utilize him to make a finals run? What? That was never. Are you retarded? Like real talk. Like what's going on there, man? What's going on there, bro? I feel like you're a little slow there, bro. Like a little remedialness has kicked in there a little bit, bro. Like and subscribe, y'all. Roster call. Zach LaVine's never been listed as a small forward on the roster. What are you talking about? What in the heavens are you talking about? Like what are you talking about? Like, stop sniffing glue, my guy. Like, what are we doing here, bro? Stop sniffing the markers. Go draw something. Kobe better leader than Zach. That is funny. That's funny. K Mill says, Haize, I may be out of the loop because I don't catch every live anymore, but what's up with some merch? I'll buy a Billy Bubblegum Billy shirt. That's funny. I don't have that type of merch. I ain't trying to get stricken in this mug. That's crazy. We get one win and all these Fruit Loops come out calling Zach a guard that we never gave him the keys for a final run. What's going on? I have no idea, man. I don't know that. Like that's crazy. That's crazy. Somebody got real high today. Real high. LaVine makes the all-star team as a guard. Dude on here, he's a forward. Yeah, like that's like what? What are we talking? So you're telling me you don't actually watch basketball? You watch? Somebody said the 2K list him as a forward. Like, is that really what we going off of for our basketball knowledge now? It's 2K. That's what we doing. We need Diddy in the wow. Okay, yeah, that's not the joke we gonna make here. It's really disappointing that we haven't seen the coaching change prior to impending major roster changes. I mean, listen, that's where we are right now. That's where we are right now. Andre Drummond is a point guard. Zach LaVine is a power forward. That's funny. That's funny. Jay Ahmad in the building says, what up, Haize? Been a while, bro. Good to see you doing well. I'm mostly okay. I'm out here trying to live my life, man. That's it. That's it. That man says Zach LaVine is a forward. That's crazy, man. Y'all got to stop using 2K for y'all basketball knowledge. That's wild. Zach is a forward and AC is a center. That's hilarious. Meat in the building says, all right, Haize, ready for the Bears game tomorrow. Real QB1 back. Hey, listen, we're going to have fun with that. We're going to have fun with that. Billy is the biggest F up, worst coach, bad play calling, happy for the win, but damn, doesn't change shit. It doesn't. It really doesn't change anything right now. Am I crazy for thinking that we can somehow figure out a way to build the chemistry back up and make a good run? I just want to watch good basketball again. Yeah, we can build the chemistry back up after the trade that goes down after December 15th. That's the next best opportunity you have at seeing this team change some things. Zach is a forward. Haize thought I was a man, and the Bulls won one game, and we on a finals run. Everybody tripping. Hey, listen, I'm glad that the win got everybody feeling good right now. That's all I can say. That's all I can say. That's crazy. Zach would get cooked by every forward in the league if he tried putting that man at power forward. That's wild, man. That's crazy. K Mill says, "Am I crazy to think Stacey King would be a better coach than Billy?" No, I think Stacey King would be a great coach, but Stacey has said several times he does not want to coach. So I don't like he. That's not a area in the stress that he wants to deal with. Now I can't blame him for that. But Stacey King, I really do think just the way Stacey King breaks down the game, the way that he explains it, I think at minimum he'd be a great lead assistant. But I think Stacey King would be a really good coach. He just doesn't want to get into it. BKR Sports says Zach LaVine and Dwight Howard make a good for what? What? How did we get here? How did we get here? That's crazy. Which trade would take the Golden State Warriors trade or the Lakers trade? I'll take the Golden State Warriors trade proposal. Well, nobody's made an official proposal yet. Everything's a rumor. But no, listen, both those deals suck. Both of them. Both those deals suck. Delbert says, I love fentanyl. That's crazy. That's wild. That's crazy. I think y'all hate on Zach just because he's light skinned. That's hilarious, man. Bro, some of these takes ball cheeks. A lot of them ball cheeks. People are crazy. I answered you above, but they were booing the entire team. Zach just got it the worst. Everybody was ready to leave the first quarter. It got bad. That doesn't surprise me at all because this team, the way that this team's been struggling, it really doesn't surprise me at all that this whole team got booed or that Zach LaVine got it the worst. By the way, y'all, we are 2 subscribers away from being at 15,600. You know, we're trying to get to 20,000 subscribers. I know 2 of y'all can't be subscribed. Go hit that subscribe button. Make sure you're subscribed. A lot of people think they're subscribed when they're not, just because I post so much. I come up in the algorithm a lot. Go make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Hit that subscribe button. Help us get to our goal of 20,000 subscribers so we can bring BKR Sports stateside to go catch a Bulls game next season. That's what we're trying to do. So there you guys go on that one. There goes your marching orders. Go figure that out. We appreciate y'all as always, man. But let's keep it pushing. Dwight Howard to the Bulls. That's crazy. That's crazy. Sarian says, hey, Coach Donovan, I heard the teams do strategies to score more points than the other team. That's crazy. Listen, that's something rare, right? Especially in the Billy Donovan team. You score more points. The goal is to put the ball in the hoop more than the other team and also defend them when they're trying to do it, right? It's criminal that your subs are so low, bro. Keep pushing so low. First of all, I'm like the second highest Chicago Bulls focused Bulls channel. Like, keep in mind, team focused channels, unless you're like the Knicks, don't get a lot of subs. Like, but and listen, we definitely trying to get to 20K. And Seaways World said, I'm gonna have my bestie subscribe. Hey, listen, have your bestie subscribe. Tell them I said I appreciate them. I was gonna have a joke there, but I'm trying to be saved. That's it. I'm trying to be saved. But I definitely thank you and your friend for subscribing. Vern, hey, if something could be worked out with DeMar on a contract, would you want him to stay? Because Casey, Vern, do you have an opinion of your own? Why is everything that you ask based on what another podcast or another Bulls content creator or a writer said? What's your opinion on Vern? You watch this team every day. What is your opinion on the team, Vern? I don't care what Casey Johnson said. I don't care what Stacey King said. I don't care what they said over on CHGO. I don't care what such and such wrote. I want to hear you. This is a place for you to get your thoughts on. No other Bulls podcast is going to put you in a position to get your thoughts on the platform. I want to hear from you, Vern. You know this team. You love this team. Vern, I want to hear from you, bro. I want to hear from you. But anyway, Zach leave DeMar may possibly stay. We'll see, man. The last I heard is that DeMar wants to see what the shape the team takes before he said that. She said, "Hey, what's going on, y'all? Glad to have y'all in the building." Dan Miles says, "MIA, you want AC and LaVine? Give us Spo and Riley." Listen. We'll trade y'all the whole team if you send us Coach Spo. I'll take that. Nah, bro, we one of the biggest teams in sports, and you got the best content for us. You should be getting plaques from YouTube, Haize. No disrespect, though, man. Love the. I mean, there's just like the largest Bulls focus channel is Bulls Central at 32, I think, subscribers, 1,000 subscribers, something they had. So it just is. It just is. We'll see if we can break through, though. We'll see if we can break through. Hey, you heard of a fool named Jediah? He was talking hella shit of all Bears podcasts that support Justin Fields. I was arguing. I have not, and I have not. And luckily, God has helped block me from a lot of idiots. Like, because I haven't run into a lot of idiots. Like, it is what it is, man. I would have never ran into Tape Never Lies had they not tried to flame Pat. Because thank God, because they have an awful show. But that is what it is, there, man. Bulls announcer says Bulls cut it down to 14 in the first quarter. Bigger figure this starting lineup out. Love the channel, man. Hey, we definitely got to figure something out, man. We got to figure something out. BKR Sports says people think if you don't have 1 million subs, you aren't somebody. Haize be killing it. Hey, listen, I've made it pretty good for my little channel, right? Got connections with the team, all this type of stuff. It is what it is, man. I'm just out here trying to work, bro. That's it. That is it. Apparently, Zach didn't stay with the team after the buzzer, went to the locker room. Even a dub didn't phase him in the least bit. I haven't heard that, but again, I've been on this stream, so I'm not going to say that you're wrong. But hey, if that's what happened, it is what it is. It doesn't surprise me with what we know is coming down the pipeline. Last year, we blow teams out in the first half of games. We'll end up losing in the end of the game. Now we can't score shit in the first half, but put big numbers up at the end of games. Go figure. Every season has its struggles. It's unfortunate this is it, man. We're not going to rebuild, so might as well keep DeMar, even if Zach stays. Just my opinion, because do of him and Vooch works better at times than Zach and Vooch. Hey, I personally have always thought that Zach and Vooch work better when DeMar's not on the court. But listen, at the end of the day, like we could say woulda, coulda, shoulda on that, right? Like Zach's gone. Zach is going to be leaving. And so we need to find whatever that chemistry is going to be. And I wouldn't mind Billy Donovan trying to already start experimenting with certain matchups to kind of see what players flow best without Zach. I wouldn't be mad at that. Guts TV says, Haize, let me borrow $5. Let me borrow 500 subs. There you go. There you go. Do you think Carter should get a shot at the starting lineup? I love Kobe, but non-starter has earned the slot. No, I disagree. I think Kobe's actually performed pretty well in the starting position. Keep in mind, he's somebody who's absolutely adapting his game. It's not going to be perfect. And like I said before, when it comes to Kobe, you got to let players learn their role. If that's where you're thrusting them in, you got to let them earn and learn their role. And for Kobe's, to his credit, he's playing much better as far as his assists up. His turnovers are down. Things like that. He's never going to be a player in this starting lineup that's going to score a bunch of points. No player is going to do that. There's not going to be a single player in this lineup with this particular matchup, a mix-up of guys who's going to score a lot of points. But when you look at Kobe, for the month of November so far, Kobe is averaging 12 points on 40% shooting, which is solid. Not great, but solid, right? 4 assists, 1 over a steal per game, and 1 turnover per game. When you're the 4th option on offense, that's solid for a starter. He's only had 2 games in the month of November so far. Keep in mind, the Bulls have played a lot of games in November. Only 2 games where he didn't score in double digits. Kobe's doing okay at the starting point guard. He has to continue to grow. Archangel, Haize, your birthday got to be soon, right? Sagittarius, yes, my birthday is December 5th. So we're a little over 2 weeks away from our birthday, which is crazy. So, it is what it is there. 500 subs for five. Listen, I run a hard bargain over here. I know you got to have at least 500 friends pick up their phone. No, it probably doesn't. Not gonna lie, I think Orlando would have the best assets to move for Zach, but I also shudder at the thought of trading with the Magic again. Oh, that's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen. Good riddance, Zach LaVine. That's crazy. Watch the LaVine walking off video and people bugging. He didn't shove her. She kept trying to grab him as he was clearly walking away. Motherfuckers exaggerating everything, and that doesn't surprise me. That's what happened. I always say this: sports are soap operas for men, and Lord knows men will. When women say that men are the biggest gossipers in the world, sports makes you realize, yeah, they probably right about that. Probably right about that. What do you say if the Bulls consider Memphis as a trade partner? Levine, Williams, and Io for Morant, Rose. Bro, this ain't too. In what world do you think the Memphis Grizzlies are giving up John Morant? Come on, bro. Come on, man. What are we talking about here, bro? Zach needs to learn how to jab step and fake and go one way with the ball with quick action. He thinks he's Allen Iverson, but he's not his craft. But the thing is, Zach LaVine, you can tell, came up in the street ball area because he can do a lot of moves that look good, but he doesn't move. He's in the same exact spot, right? It's weird. It's weird. Archangel says, oh, wait. Where did Archangel's comment go? Archangels asks, Haize, do you have a P.O. box so people can send you stuff? No, no, I don't. But if you hit me up in my social media at CEO Haize on everything, we can work something out. You think Grizzlies call for Vooch before the trade deadline since Adams out for the seasons? No, I doubt it because it's not like Vooch replaces what Adams brings to that team. So I mean, if they're looking and it's not, and Vooch doesn't have the type of contract where it's like we can just go trade for Nikola Vucevic. No, it's going to take something to get that done. So no, I doubt it. Y'all are men gossip more than we do. They just do it with their friends and not us. Hey, listen, I ain't saying you wrong, right? Like, listen, for what and the funny thing is I have not seen that a lot until getting on social media. And then I'm like, hey, these dudes is really and messy as hell. It's really strange. It's really strange. But hey, listen, to each their own. I ain't got to deal with them. To each his own. Edwin in the building says, and when is Zach making his exit? Kid just brings the team's energy down, that negative vibe. He's probably not going to get moved to after December 15th, brother. That keeps being the thing that we're hearing. It's probably going to be that. Vern says, Io feels more settled in his role coming off the bench. Io has really settled into that role. And I did see somebody's comment about Javon Carter be playing more minutes. And I would say, yeah. But the thing is that Billy Donovan is typically somebody who's only gone 4 deep into their rotation with like a 10th guy who kind of fluctuates in and out based off the matchup. We're seeing Billy Donovan consistently play a 10-man rotation, so that has lessened the minutes a little bit there. But I understand why he's done it because Io in his role has really been playing well. Really been playing well. I want Grady Dick from Toronto in the Zach deal, but hey, we'd have to bring Thad and Porter Jr. back for salary filler. So Josiah, I want to be clear here. You are saying you want Dick. I just want to be clear, Josiah, that we have a clear understanding that Josiah today has made an acclamation to the Bulls fan around the world that he wants Dick. That's what Josiah has said. Everybody, y'all now know you have your marching orders. Josiah wants some Dick. That's what Josiah said. He said he wants Dick on this team. He would like to be able to play with Dick on 2K, Josiah has now made his acclamation known that he really, 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 really desires to have some dick. That's what Josiah has said. We appreciate you, brother, and that we hope that ends up happening. I hope that you really take that in stride, brother. It's all in fun, bro. It was too easy to pass up. It was a low-hanging fruit. I'm sorry, bro. I couldn't help. I couldn't pass it. I couldn't pass it. I wanted them to lose. Time for a change. Seriously, listen, the change is coming. The change is definitely coming. The change is definitely coming. Dude who wants some dick don't go for nothing to do with me, but you want. Oh man, that is hilarious, bro. That's funny. That's Josiah walked right into that one, bro. I'm sorry. You walked right into that one, man. I don't know when you type that. You've been in here too long. You have been a supporter of this channel for way too long for you not to understand what you were just walking into when you typed in there that you want the Chicago Bulls to get Grady Dick. I'm sorry. You had to know what you were walking into, bro. You had to know what you were walking into. Oh man, that is hilarious, fam. That is funny. That's funny. It's all in love, though. All in love. The front office got me fucked up, man. I don't even know if I want my team to win or lose anymore. Hey, that's the comment of the day, right? That's really what it comes down to. We don't know what the hell we want. I was hoping the NBA will make him wear his first name on the back of his jersey. Hey, listen, that's his last name. It's his last name, man. It is what it is, bro. It is what it is, man. That man that made himself a target. Oh man, that is crazy. That's wild. That's wild. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I made that joke. I couldn't help it. I couldn't help it. Y'all talk about Dennis Rodman being there at the stadium already. I know he was embarrassed. Yeah, we talked about Dennis Rodman being there at the halftime show. That's crazy. If you want change, you want them to lose. Unfortunately, no, I think the change is coming regardless at this point, right? Zach LaVine has requested a trade. The trade's coming. It is what it is. The Bulls aren't in the situation to just hold on to him and play the poker face game. Zach LaVine's trading. So regardless of the Bulls can win the next 10 games in a row. Guess what? The trade is still coming. Josiah really stopped commenting. Josiah, I hope you didn't leave, man. It was just a joke, bro. It was just a joke. Grady Dick would make some shots that everyone's screaming in excitement. Like I said, man, listen, I don't care what nobody says. I don't do live calls, but if the Bulls were to trade and get Grady Dick in there, I'm going to do a live call just so I can say Dick from deep. Like if he makes a 3-point shot, that's it. I just got to be able to say Dick from deep. That's it. And then I'm done. I'm going to retire. But I got to do it. I got to do it. It is what it is, man. I'm too immature to pass up on an opportunity to live call and say Dick from deep. Like it's too easy. Or if he dunks on somebody, you can say Dick in your face, right? Dick all in his face. I cannot pass up on the opportunity to say that. I can't do it. I can't. Like it just is what it is. Like call it immature, call it silly. I really don't care right now. If the Bulls ever acquire Grady Dick on their team, I am live calling games until I get to say Dick in his face and Dick from deep. That's it. And then once I do that, I'm done. I'm retired. That's it. I'm retired from live calling. That's it. That's it. That's it. Like it is what it is, man. Like listen. I've come way too far in this game to pass up on an opportunity to realistically call a game and be able to say that. I can't. Like I put in too much work, man. I put up too much work. Josiah in the building says Dick drives to the hole. Like I listen. It is what it is, man. Like it is what it is. Like that's crazy. You think I'm gonna pass? You really think that I'm gonna pass up an opportunity to be able to say "dick from deep" and just let it go? No, I'm not. I'm just letting you know I'm not that mature. I'm absolutely doing it. Like it is what it is. I am literally doing a live call the day the games that we trade for. They gonna be like Haize is live calling games now. How did we get here? Because he's petty. That's it. The pettiness in my spirit will not allow me to pass that up. Like it's just not gonna happen, man. Like that is comedic gold. Can you imagine how crazy it would be on social media to see Grady Dick dunk on somebody and be able to say "dick in his face"? Like, right? Like it just is what it is. And then if he ever gets blocked, you can say Jared Jackson Jr. blocks Dick. Like it's you got to do it, man. You got to be able to do it, bro. Like it is what it is, man. But I think that's a great place to end the stream today, guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, man, making this fun. Did we hit our goal? Let's see what the subscribers number is at. I'm sure I didn't lost like 10 subscribers with the "dick from deep" comment. We passed it. We had 15,606, man. I appreciate you guys so much, man. You guys make sure you're following the show at Bull Central Pod. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, bullcentralpod@gmail.com. Lastly, if you want to leave a text message and or voicemail, the number to do so, 773-270-2799. We are the number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related, thanks to you guys. And like I like to end every episode on, go Bulls. Love you guys. See red.